and welcome to the football special. My name is Stephen Howson, and you can follow me on all of the below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We are definitely getting into Arsenal, so just you wait about that one. This is hopefully going to be the regular spot. We was aiming for 3 o'clock, but we got sent a video. Thank you to Mr. John Shin and Statman Dave for sending those. It was a little bit late in the day, but we wanted to include them, so I've just had to do a little bit of editing to make sure we get those in the mix. So this is sponsored by BetBull, so if you haven't already, hit the description. Download BetBull if you're on iOS, and you can win £100. I'll be giving away £100 live on this stream to a completely random person that follows me. So there is still chance to go and get on that as well. If you get there now, you've got about 5 or 6 minutes before I'm going to do it. So download it, follow me on there at Mr. Stephen Howson, and you will be able to win £100 literally just for following me on that app. So get over there, make sure you do it, and we will get stuck straight into it. So with the news then, let's get into the big topics of today. We have to start with Arsenal, don't we? News, please. News. Thank you. There we go. There's the news. So the news that we're going to talk about, that's not him, but it's going to come round to him in a second. Arsenal lost 10-2 on aggregate. It's the second worst ever knockout defeat in Champions League history. 5-1 at the Allianz and 5-1 at the Emirates. And do you know what? I expected Bayern Munich was going to be going through. I've been joking about it, saying that it's that it was going to be a bye for Bayern Munich, but I didn't expect it to go the way it went. It went absolutely horrifically, didn't it, for Arsenal? And who could have predicted? Who could have predicted what would have happened at the Allianz? It was bad. It was pretty damn bad. I didn't think they was going to go through, but I thought they wasn't going to get beat 5-1 at home. Anyway, do you know what? Before we get into that, I think a man who has won a title, everything's about Wenger out in it, but I think a man who has won a title deserves, like we said last week with Leicester and Ranieri, a man who has won a title deserves a lot more respect from people than he is getting. So I think what's going on with the Wenger out brigade is an absolute disgrace. But we have got Statman Dave to talk to us a little bit about what's going on with Arsenal, so here he is. After this, back to news, yeah. No one's saying it. I don't know if the sound was working on there or anyone. No audio on Dave. Oh, typical. That's Dave's fault. Like, he sends it you in a weird format. Hopefully the audio is going to work again later on. They work and I can see them and all the rest of it, but this is the problem that we have when we go live, isn't it? So the next thing we've got to talk about here is Jose Mourinho with the pitch at Rostov. He's fuming with the pitch, recommending that we probably wouldn't play this if we didn't have to. Dave was talking about Arsenal going out anyway, if anyone was interested. Jose's not happy. He said that he wouldn't have played this game if he had the choice. The pitch is worse than what we saw in China on pre-season, and we didn't play on that pitch, so it's one of those things. But it doesn't look bad. I mean, I'm obviously not overly familiar with what goes on in Russian football, so I can't exactly say whether this is the norm or anything like that, but it does look pretty bad if you've seen the photographs of it. The other thing that we want to talk about today is Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez, at the start of the season, was hailed as this absolute monster, the biggest thing in world football, the biggest wonder kid, and all the rest of that sort of stuff. And it wasn't the case. He's played 3 or 4 Bundesliga games so far, and he hasn't impressed apart from those first couple of weeks when he first arrived. And Ancelotti's been talking in the press saying that he's going nowhere. Do you know what? I think it's a bit of a joke actually that Ancelotti has to even come out and say these sort of things about someone so young. Why isn't he just able to just get on with his game and then deal with it? So Renato Sanchez, a little bit of a talk going on there. Ancelotti's been forced to come out and defend the fact that he's not playing him and he's probably going nowhere. The final one that we're going to talk about in terms of straight news is Fernandinho. Now, obviously, everyone has to play the game, don't they? You have to say, oh, we're still in this fight, we're still going to be doing this, we still think we can compete to the end of the season. But let's face it, Chelsea's season means that they're going to win the league. They've won it before Christmas. They've been absolutely fantastic. Now, I think what we're seeing with Manchester City is a little bit of a resurgence. I think it's decent for them. I still think they're probably going to finish inside the top 4. But I don't think they're on for a title charge. No way at all. 10 points with 11 games left. Not while Chelsea have got no European football. I don't think there's anything for them to worry about. So Fernandinho, I don't think you can win the league. I know you've got to pay lip service to that sort of stuff, but I think you are wrong. Right then, let's have a look at last week's results then. So Manchester United was one of the biggest ones. We failed. We completely bottled it with the Bournemouth game. We drew 1-1. Failing to capitalise on our opportunity to move off 6th forever. I mean, we are literally... we're laughing at ourselves at the moment with how 6th that we are. We just can't get away from the damn thing. Zlatan and Mings got into it in a big way. Mings stamping on Zlatan. Yet to see what he's eventually going to get in terms of a ban. Zlatan's been handed a 3-match ban and accepted it. Mings has appealed it, I believe. Let's hope that he gets one for a... frivolous appeal, because quite clearly in my eyes it was a stamp, it was malicious, and it was downright dangerous. But let's have a look what John Shin's got to say. He sent us in a video talking about Zlatan and United's over-reliance on him.
Yo, what's going on, Steve? Just wanted to give you a quick little shout out and
Looks like there's probably no audio with John as well. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know what's going on with the audio again today. This is the nightmare what happens when we go live. We think we can get it all done and working spickety-span, and it's not. But no, thanks to Dave and to John for sending us in those last minute. I still can't work out why the audio doesn't work. One of those for it. Anyway, so John was talking about Manchester United's over-reliance on Zlatan, and what's my opinion on it? Are we over-reliant on Zlatan Ibrahimovic? To me, we are, but we're also not over-reliant on him as well. The fact is, when you play a one-striker system, that one striker gets the vast majority of the goals. If you play a 2 or even a 3-forward system, then it's spread out amongst more players. If you play a 2-striker system, you're going to expect maybe one main striker and a couple of others to be rotated in and out, and you'll see people getting 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 goals, aside from a main striker that might get 20 or 25. When it's that one guy, that's when you see massive amount of goals coming through them. We've seen it with Ruud van Nistelrooy when United played like a 4-5-1 in the early 2000s. And I think that's what's going on with Zlatan at the moment. So I think Zlatan is obviously scoring the majority of our goals, but he's played often than not up front on his own, and he's the guy that's getting those goals. I think anybody else who's played up front as a number 9, even if it's just for those 3 games, is going to become the main guy, the guy that scores all the goals for Manchester United. And do you know what? If Mkhitaryan's behind him, I'm not really scared about us getting goals, because I think Mkhitaryan can both create and score goals if necessary. Now, the other big stuff that happened in the Premier League this weekend was Liverpool absolutely tated Arsenal, piling on misery for Arsenal fans for what's been a bit of a shit couple of weeks for them, hasn't it? It was a good performance from Liverpool, excellent against the top teams, much like Manchester United last season, can't do it against the smaller teams, and that's where they're dropping points, and that's where they're ultimately not going to do anything in terms of the season. We also saw Leicester win again. That's a couple of wins on the bounce for them now, proving how much of dicks that they are. They reckon that it was an oversimplification of the tactics, has been able and allowed them to come out and start playing really good football. Is that the case? I don't know if that's the case. Leicester seem to be proving it on the pitch. Was Ranieri that bad? I don't think you're a bad manager if you can win the side with that Leicester team. I put the blame squarely at the players, much like what happened with Chelsea the year before. Spoiled little arseholes that now think that they can come and play Spurs shown their pedigree against a tough Everton side with a really good performance this weekend. Harry Kane hitting a target, sparking off tons of rumours that he's going to be moved on to a bigger club, sparking off tons of rumours and tons of discussions talking about how world class he is or isn't. And do you know what? The guy scoring goals for fun in a very tough league. I think you have to put him up there in the conversation. His conversion rate is very, very good. And I think he'd improve a hell of a lot of teams. Over in Spain, we saw Barcelona take the top spot from Real Madrid for what seems like forever. With a 5-0 win over Celta Vigo. It's extremely tight at the top in Spain. And do you know what? I think it's crazy that Enrique's under so much pressure. He can still win the league. He can still do something in Europe. And he's actually got a better win percentage than Pep Guardiola had while he's there. And he's just given zero respect whatsoever in Spain. I can't quite understand it. It feels a little bit like spoilt brats again in terms of the players, if you ask me. But there you go. Absolute madness that's going on. In Serie A, Napoli beat Roma to make it very interesting in Serie A, but that's probably just going to be the race for second spot. Juventus do look comfortable, do look like they're going to take the title in the grand scheme of things. They were held to a draw at Udinese, where they typically do struggle, but I think it's very unlikely that they're going to be having anything to worry about. The title is theirs unless they completely Gerrard it up at some point. In Bundesliga, Munich won again, and Leipzig could only manage a draw against Augsburg, and they're now 7 points off Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich 7 points clear, and Leipzig are now in a little bit of trouble because Dortmund are only 6 points behind them, and I think that could be something that really starts to see what this Leipzig side is made of. They're a side obviously not playing European competition after just being promoted. We've not seen them put under any pressure. There was no pressure on them at the start of the season. We saw them race to the top of the Bundesliga. They've dropped a couple of points recently, but now I think we're gonna find out how good they are, what their mettle is, if they're able to maintain this form that they've seen and maybe go on and claim that second spot, which is a phenomenal achievement in their first season in the top flight in the Bundesliga. Or we might see what Dortmund are made of. Either way, it's interesting what's going over in Germany at the moment. In France, only 3 points separates the top 3 sides. Monaco sit atop of the tree at the moment, but Paris and Nice, I think it's Nice. I forgot off the top of my head. Are very tight at the top. A little bit of form from PSG has put them right back in the mixer again, making sure they look a little bit dangerous. And there's some interesting games around this week that could have a big say in where all of that goes. Player of the week this week then. This was a tough one because there has been some standout performances all over Europe, but the one I've got to give it to is Andrea Belotti. 22 goals in 23 starts in Serie A. This weekend, got a hat-trick in 7 minutes, seen Torino come from 1-0 down to win the game 3-1. 7-minute hat-trick. Apart from that, he's been playing phenomenally well. I think it deserves highlighting. So, Andrea Belotti, player of the week this week. And let's get into the betting results. So, the betting results that we've had have not been great. Last week, I give you some absolute cast iron gold, and only 2 out of them 6 came in, so I hope that you're not listening to me for your betting tips. I had Marseille and Sevilla come in for me, and then I was let down by Leipzig, Juventus, Atletico, and Manchester United. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go pick a winner, so let's switch over in a second. Right, yep, ready. Let's go and have a look if we can get... why is it blank? Click off it, come off it again. Should be on. There we go. Alrighty, so we're going to pick a winner, and someone's about to win £100. If you've just started following me, you could be in with a little bit of luck. So we're just going to go pick on me. There's 81 of you guys following me. Let's just see who's going to win it. Let's just find out. Someone tell me when to stop. Let's just stop. Boom. I Wilco. There we go. L Wilco or I Wilco? Oh, it's L Wilco, I think. We'll follow you. You've just won £100. Happy days. I know we're going to hear from now. So let's have a look at the previews then for this week. We've got United and Chelsea, which is the glamour round of the FA Cup, the glamour tie of the round in the FA Cup. We're not going to be touching any of these for betting, but these are the games that if you're going to be watching some football this weekend, this is where you should be putting your attention. United and Chelsea Monday night at the Bridge. That's going to be the tie of the round. I think the winner coming from there is very, 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 very likely. Basque Derby in La Liga, you're looking at Sociedad playing against Athletic Bilbao. I think that's going to be a hell of a game. Might have a little bit of a say in what goes on in Europe over there, but that's the biggest game that you're going to see over there in La Liga. In Italy, we've got Milan against Juventus. That's Juventus at home. I do expect Juventus to pick up a win there, and we might be betting on them a little bit later when we do get into the betting. But I would say definitely watch out for this game because Milan look decent at the moment. Obviously, they've got Donnarumma who's tearing it up over there. If Juventus wobble with how tight it is at the top, they could find themselves in a little bit of danger. But I do think Juventus are going to win this. But it is going to be a match that's worth your time. Hertha Berlin against Dortmund, 5th place, 3rd. That's going to be a good game to check out over in Germany. And Monaco versus Bordeaux over in France. That's 1st place, 5th. If you can check out any of those games, you're going to see some good action this weekend. Right, let's have a look at the bets for this weekend then. Here's what I'm going to be going for. I've just pulled up some at 25 or 27 to 1. We're going to be going with Manchester City against Stoke. I think you've got to go with City, haven't you? At 1 to 5, you've got to take that one if you're offered it. I think that's as much of a knocking bet as you're going to see. I'm going to go with Sevilla against Legan. I think Sevilla are in great form. Picking them at home is a bit of a tap-in. Juventus, as I said a second ago, against AC Milan. I do fancy those. And it's not bad odds, to be honest. RB Leipzig, I think they're going to get back on the bus. And they're going to beat Wolfsburg. Marseille, they've been good to me in the past. I've been betting on them recently. And they look like they're in decent form. And then the outside one, the one that makes this an interesting bet, is United to beat Chelsea at the Bridge on Monday night. A fiver on that's going to give you 142 quid in return. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to stick a fiver on it, and then we're going to spin the wheel and we're going to find out what we're getting. And if you're not already downloaded on BetBull, this is a class app. You can discuss the bets and all that sort of stuff. And we're going to spin the wheel and we're going to see if we get a bonus. Do we go clockwise or anti-clockwise? I'm going to go clockwise. You get loads of little bonuses with BetBull, and you can have ACCA insurance. What's this one? Free games insured. Even I can't balls that one up, can I? That's awesome. Free games insured. So I think I just get my money back if I have free games that go tits up. That's all right. So £5 stake, 142 quid return. Go and follow me on BetBull. I think I'll be giving another £100 away next week. So if you want to win £100, literally just for following me, download it. You can also get a £20 free bet if you deposit £20. It's a great little app. You can bet on all sorts of stuff. And one of the best things about BetBull as well, if I go back to this on the front page, there's a section called Bulls, and the Bulls are the people who are absolutely smashing it, and you can see what they're betting on. So if you're like, I don't really know what I want to bet on this weekend, go and check out what the Bulls are betting on, and you can see all the different stuff. And then let's just find one. There we go. You can see in the green here, I've won 119.21 times my stake. So it tells you what they're doing or what they're doing well. This guy says I've had 122 winning knackers in the last 2 weeks. Oh my god, the guy must live on it. Let's find another one. 10 people won 260 quid with my last winning knacker. So you can follow people on here and you can see what they're betting, and you can place your own bets around that sort of stuff as well. Right, let's have a look at some of the tweets of the week. So this is something that I want to see us do on a bit more of a regular basis. If you see some funny tweets, these are all from Arsenal last night as well, actually. If you see some funny tweets, I want you to @ me and put the hashtag football special. So @ me, hashtag football special. That's any funny tweets that you see this weekend, tonight, whatever, hashtag football special, and then I'll throw them up on it next week. But that'll do us for this week. So thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for joining us live. Get any of your comments in below. Who are you betting on this weekend? Who's your player to watch? Any of the tweets that you've got, make sure to throw some of those at us. As I said, thank you for joining. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave us a like, and we will try and fix the audio for next weekend, and we'll sort all that sort of jazz out. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.